Picture this, you've been eyeing various miles and points programs, intrigued by the possibilities but hesitant to dive in. Whether you're an avid collector or somebody just getting started with points, the question remains which of these programs are actually worth it. Here's the thing, earning and redeeming points isn't just a casual hobby, it's an investment. You're spending valuable time, energy, and money earning points, but how do you know the points you earn are really worth what you think they're worth? This brings us to an important but often overlooked element of earning points, which is the valuations. What are your points and miles really worth, and most importantly, how do you maximize their value when it comes time to redeem? Welcome to Prince of Travel, we're the leading platform empowering every global citizen to go further better, and in this video we'll dive into the ever-changing miles and points landscape as opportunities come and go. What are your points actually worth? How do you maximize their value?
Now, while we're on the topic of valuations, let's walk through the points value system that we here at Prince of Travel use and many other websites do as well. Now, when we refer to the value that you can get by using your miles and points, we'll often use a figure in cents per point, or CPP for short. Now, cents per point is a fairly standard value used in the miles and points world, and a simple way to calculate cents per point is to divide the monetary value of what you're booking by the number of points required to book it. So for a really simple example, suppose that a flight that you'd like to book costs $200 or 20,000 points. Now, $200 is equivalent to 20,000 cents, and when we divide 20,000 cents by 20,000 points, we result in a value of 1 cent per point. Now, one very important thing to keep in mind if you're calculating the cents per point value for an award booking are the taxes and fees that you have to pay. Now, if we take that same example of a flight that costs $200, but you actually have to pay $50 when you book the flight with points, you actually wind up with a redemption value of 0.75 cents per point in this scenario. Before we dive into more about the world of miles and points, but what's the point of measuring value in cents per point? Points valuations are useful because they're a tangible way for you to measure the value that you have across programs. And in turn, you can make informed decisions about whether or not you want to redeem your points this way or if you'll save them for another time. Now, fixed value points programs like Scene+ in Canada offer predictability. You know exactly how much value you can get from your points, which makes planning straightforward and eliminates any guesswork. But on the downside, fixed value points programs don't offer the same opportunities for outsized value that you can get out of other points programs when you redeem them strategically. Now, getting outsized value for your points is something we talk about all the time at Prince of Travel. And as far as we're concerned, getting outsized value from your points is the best way to redeem them. But that's definitely not to say that fixed value points don't have a place in everybody's strategy. So again, using Scene+ as an example, the most value that you could get out of your points is 1 cent per point. And this makes it really easy to understand the type of value that you can get from your points. 100 points equals $1. While this straightforward approach might appeal to some, it also means that there aren't any opportunities to stretch the value of your points as there are with more flexible points programs. So, while fixed value points offer reliability and some flexibility, they might not deliver the best bang for your buck, especially if you're looking to maximize the value of your points. And the best way to maximize the value that you can get from your points is to collect flexible points. Fixed value points programs are really easy to understand, but if you're really looking to get the most bang for your buck, you'll want to look into flexible rewards. And when we talk about points programs with flexible valuations, we're talking about airline loyalty programs, hotel loyalty programs, and transferable points currencies offered by some banks. Now, with any of these programs, the value that you can get from any particular redemption varies depending on how you choose to redeem your points. So for example, you might get a lower cents per point value if you choose to redeem your airline points for flights in economy, whereas you might get a really high cents per point value if you choose to redeem them for business class or maybe even first class. And some of the most popular points programs that we use here at Prince of Travel are Air Canada Aeroplan, British Airways Executive Club, Air France KLM Flying Blue, and plenty more. But if you're looking for the best types of points to collect, you'll want to look at transferable points currencies. In Canada, there are 2 transferable points currencies in RBC Avion and American Express membership rewards. But in the United States, there are plenty more programs that actually have access to way more airline and hotel loyalty programs than we do in Canada. And these programs include American Express membership rewards, Capital One miles, Chase Ultimate rewards, Citi Thank You rewards, and more. And because you can do so much with transferable points programs, if you check out our points valuations page on Prince of Travel, you'll find that transferable points currencies have the highest cent per point value. And then, depending on how you choose to redeem your transferable points or your points in an airline loyalty program or a hotel loyalty program, you might get a value of 0.5 cents per point, but that might creep up all the way to 5 cents per point or even way more. So let's suppose that you have 107,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points and you transfer them to Singapore Airlines KrisFlyer miles at a 1-to-1 rate. And what you could do with those 107,000 Singapore Airlines KrisFlyer miles is you could book a one-way flight in business class class from Seattle to Singapore, which could cost more than $5,000 if you were to pay cash instead. Now you'll have to pay about $6 in taxes and fees on that redemption, which isn't very much, and so you're looking at a redemption value of around 5 cents per point by doing it this way, which is fantastic. Now there are hundreds of examples of the ways that you can get outsized value by transferring your points to airline and hotel loyalty programs, and we've got guides to all of those on our website here at Prince of Travel. Now one approach that a lot of people like to use is to treat airline loyalty programs and hotel loyalty programs and transferable points as their primary points currencies, but then they still also collect fixed value points on the side. And with a travel strategy like this, you can use your airline points for long haul flights, ideally in business class or maybe even first class. You can use your hotel points to cover the cost of your stays, ideally at an aspirational property, and then you can use your fixed value points to cover other costs of your stay, like car rentals, boutique hotels that you can't book on points, and more. So for example, you might use your Air Canada Aeroplan points to book long haul flights, you might use your Marriott Bonvoy points to book hotel stays, and then you might use your Scene Plus points to cover other costs on your trip. And with this multi-pronged strategy, you can maximize your travel experience while minimizing your out-of-pocket expenses. And if you're collecting all these different types of points currencies, you'll want to think about the ways that you can get the most from the less desirable points. So for example, if you only decide to collect one type of points currency, you're going to be limited to what's available through that program. However, if you find yourself with a stash of points from some less popular programs, you can also find value by transferring them to the right partners or saving them for specific redemptions. So for example, lots of people use Marriott Bonvoy points for hotel stays, but some people actually choose to transfer them to airline partners instead. Now Marriott Bonvoy points can be transferred to 39 different airline partners. And what makes this particularly intriguing is that you can access some of the most difficult points programs that might not be available through transferable points programs or credit cards in your country, but that have some great redemption value. Now the most important thing that you need to understand are the transfer rates for Marriott Bonvoy to different airline partners, and then the options that exist within all of the different loyalty programs. And if you're looking for a bit of inspiration, we've got a guide on some of the best uses of transferring Marriott Bonvoy points into airline miles on the Prince of Travel website. And if you're curious to learn about how much your miles and points might be worth, be sure to check out our quarterly valuation updates in our Points Valuations page, and you can find the links to those in the description below. Now, understanding how much miles and points are worth is crucial if you're looking to maximize your rewards, but it's also highly subjective and it's constantly evolving. Now, at Prince of Travel, we take a comprehensive approach to analyzing and updating our points valuations on a regular basis. And our goal with Points Valuations is to help you make more informed and better decisions when you're planning out your next credit cards and your next trips. So keep an eye out for our quarterly points valuation updates, where we analyze the trends that are happening in the miles and points world and give you updated values on what you can expect. And if you're eager to learn more, be sure to check out our video about Roam, which is a great tool to help you maximize the value that you get from your miles and points by helping you find the best redemptions possible. It's a great resource for anybody looking to take their points game to the next level, and I'll see you there.